I was lucky enough in my business career to travel the world, including doing a lot of work in Africa and getting to see the incredible promise and the incredible challenges that existed there. The goal of the Gates Foundation, when it's created in the year 2000, is to help children achieve their potential. And so basically what we saw was that there were a lot of things like malaria or malnutrition or diarrhea, pneumonia, that were both killing children and causing them never to develop mentally or physically, that almost no money was being put into them. Malaria killed this year about 600,000 children. And at the time I made a $30 million grant, I became the biggest funder of malaria research in the world, which is, truly insane that a world that's this rich doesn't find the resources. And in that case, there's every reason to think we should be able to get rid of malaria, that no child should ever suffer from that. So our foundation is focused on helping the countries that are in a poverty trap. The way you help those countries is you improve their health and their education, and basically then the great thing happens, which is they become self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. And of course in Asia, a lot of countries have been through that transition. At the turn of the century, India, Indonesia, Vietnam were aid recipients, but they've gotten their health and education up so that their economy means that they no longer have to have their vaccines or primary health care funded from outside. So in fact, the majority of our work is in Africa. We both fund the creation of new tools, we fund the delivery of those tools. Our work in Africa has been very rewarding because of the partnerships we built. Aliko and I worked with the governors of the 36 Nigerian states, particularly the 18 in the north, to help them create healthcare systems that can get out to lots and lots of kids. Mm. Africa is full of great examples. There are many countries in Africa that achieve far higher vaccination rates than the United States does. Even countries that are very poor, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, so it's doable. A lot of what we're doing is spreading best practices within the continent. We're funding scientists there on the continent. In this century, the majority of the children born on this planet will be born in Africa. And is that a dividend for the world in terms of their creativity, their capability in sports and fashion and science? Or is that a burden because if they're malnourished, if their health hasn't been taken care of, if their education systems aren't capable, they won't be achieving their potential, which that's a terrible thing for the whole world. So, it was kind of a logical thing, and through this success and partnerships, we have a commitment during our remaining 20 years to help those countries become self-sufficient.
And I'll ask you a bit more about the commitments that you've made and how you see it panning out over the next decade or so. But Alhaji Dangote, let me come to you. As an African and as the richest man on a continent that holds such a pivotal role in the global south with its young population, its resources, how do you see your role? And what draws you into this moment as we are trying to empower the global south?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and I want to thank the organizers for inviting me to this forum. Well, the issue is that in Africa, that we have a population of about 1.4 billion people, and really partnership also matters, because Bill just mentioned we have a very good, partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and that has actually helped in eradicating polio out of Nigeria, which we've been trying for decades, for many, many years. So we work in the health sector. We work in the empowerment. We just about to launch also because of the young population that we have, and we have a lot of children out of school. So what we are going to launch next week, we're launching a $700 million fund to fund education of, at the fourth year, we'll be having people from secondary school up to university level, totaling about 155,000. We'll run it for 10 years, then we'll review. We're not only doing that, you know, because we have a lot of challenges in Africa. One is of which training. So when we built our 650,000 barrels per day refinery with petrochemicals, we had almost 50,000 Nigerians working. Only about 17,000 foreign workers. Right. And those people, they've been trained, and now majority of them are the ones that we are going to re-employ them back into the project for our expansions. What are we doing again to empower people? We want to also teach them that, look, because before the thinking was that, look, when you are in agriculture, agriculture is about poor people. No, it's not. There's quite a lot of money. So what we've done now is to put off some rice mills with processing, power generation, which we are going to use the husk, you know, to generate our own power. That one, we are not growing the rice. So we are giving opportunities to farmers to give them implements with fertilizers and all whatever that they need, so that at the end of the season, we'll buy the rice, we'll buy the paddy rice from them. So we're going to actually, you know, empower millions of people, right, and we will keep growing.
Well, let me ask you, pick up on that before I come back to Her Excellency Sheikh Hamayasi. You have indeed built an important industrial ecosystem in Nigeria and in many African countries, from sugar to cement, and now this massive oil refinery that you have in Lagos. But how do arts and the creative industries fit into this ecosystem, and what are you doing? And how is it reshaping economic opportunity in Nigeria especially? We were discussing earlier, huge creative sector in Nigeria. How is the Dangote Foundation and the Dangote Group integrating this into its ecosystem?
Well, no, it's the same sort of ecosystem. It's integrated. Majority of those guys, we also help them directly or indirectly. So I believe that, like right now what we are trying to do is to encourage the government so that companies can actually also be involved in